When two teams come together to compete, more than just the fans in attendance are interested in the outcome. And to spread the word of sports, you have to know sports. The first line of communication for Dakota State University is Sports Information Director Nick Huntimer, who has built his entire life around athletics and communication.
Well, actually, I grew up in Oldham, but I went to Dakota Gap in fall from kindergarten to fourth grade.
Born deaf, Huntimer spent his early childhood learning to communicate through American Sign Language. ASL is a necessity for everyday life, but it would also become extremely useful for his first job in the sports world.
So I appreciate after I graduated from high school, father stuff in my family. My mom's cousin was a referee too. My grandpa was a referee too, so it's father stuff in the family. I love sports when I grew up. I play basketball, baseball, softball, tennis, golf, almost everything. I wanted to be a coach, and then became a referee. To teach the players to know the game, like the rules and stuff like that. Be as a team player. I rep in basketball, volleyball, softball, and baseball.
His love for teaching led him to Dakota State's education program. His passion for sports led him to DSU's athletic department.
I was DSU for 5 years. I was studying for DSU athletic for 4 years, so I've been going to every home game and do the staff. It's the field I'm very interested in, so I'm eager to learn about history about DSU athletics, in the past. I've been studying research about it. Wow, I was very interested. I kind of get a foot in the door after I graduated. I stayed with DSU athletics, full-time at DSU.
Over his 4 years in the athletic office, the department observed his work ethic and passion and brought him on as a full-time SID upon graduation.
DSU have a place in my heart. It's like a family. So, it's close to my family too. It's awesome. I do the preview for each game. I do a recap for the game about what happened, doing the stats during the game, there's a promotion to make graphics. We have a social media.
Adding to his involvement, Huntimer is also the SID for the North Star Athletic Association, where he's been named the Sports Information Director of the Year twice. Knowing how powerful his voice can be, he works to break down barriers and sits on COSIDA's Diversity and Inclusion Board, using language to help change lives. His efforts don't stop with college athletics.
We know there's some deaf people in the mainstream school. There's some competing in sports, and we would like to see that, compete more. I don't want to make it feel laugh, not by myself alone, So, like one time I found out about a deaf boy in the burn. So he was playing basketball, team camp here in DSU. I was like, oh. And then I met with him and we started talking. And then he never signed. So I caught up with him and he's going after playing softball for the summer.
Huntimer's skills go well beyond improving the quality of his own life. He's shown that no matter the venue, he takes his cues from his passions and works to help others visualize theirs.
Just follow the dream, Don't let them in the field near the dream.
And joined now by Elena Lanson. And all right, Nick, you saw in the story, he has a hearing device, a hearing aid, but he doesn't necessarily use that for conversation, right? He uses sign language and lip reading and those kind of things for conversation, but the hearing device helps him in other ways. How?
Yeah, so he's had his hearing aid since he was 1 year old. It helps people of the deaf community be able to hear loud noises. It's more precautionary for safety concerns, alarms, car alarms, smoke detectors, different things like that that are louder. So they had that for him when he was 1 year old. And then from there, that helped him throughout his life. But mostly he just depends on lip reading, apps like Otter, using texting, emailing to communicate when he can't hear, especially the last couple of years. It's been hard with those masks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but last summer was a good one for him. Busy guy, but he plays sports as well, right?
I don't know how he has time for all of it, but he's been on a deaf softball team. It's made up of deaf people from across the Midwest. He's been on it for 20 years. They were finally able to take home the trophy after 6 years of making the national tournament. Huge for him. He plays in summer volleyball leagues, shoots hoops with friends. Like I said, I don't know how he has time for it, but his whole life revolves around sports.
And so great at his job as well. Appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot, Elena.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.